So recently, another round of layoffs just happened. And guess what? It's still a lot of tech corporations. And it's a lot of juniors, most likely. Based on what I'm seeing, it's a lot of seniors this time as well, right? Let's check out and let's see what the hell's happening.
Oracle laid off as many as 30,000 people earlier today, and the way they did it
God damn.
was by email. Now, even if you haven't heard of Oracle,
That's
you
evil.
may have heard of the founder of Oracle, which is Larry Ellison, who launched the company in partnership with the CIA. Oracle's been signing a lot of big contracts lately, but there have been a lot of questions about how they were going to pay for it, and we just got one of our answers: mass layoffs. Here you have it once again, ladies and gentlemen, the consequences of the AI era, where companies lay off people to fund AI. That's exactly what's going on here with Oracle. And you better believe it's happening with a lot of other companies too.
I mean, yeah, it's happening because of AI and because a lot of companies overhired, like in the COVID days. But at the same time, as if you guys have seen, there's a lot of companies also still going in, still in the negative, still going in debt, even though they're trying to build all these like AI centers and shit, right? And whatever we call them, still laying off people. And now they're thinking of using ads or upping the subscription prices and so on, right? And there's more and more AI companies that I'm seeing right now that are just, I was gonna say unreliable. Why did I even think that there's AI companies that are reliable? What's wrong with me?
I am getting laid off in 3 hours.
Have you ever been part of a corporate layoff? Because it is fun.
So here's what happens if you haven't been a part of it. Basically, someone will let you know that a whole bunch of people got laid off,
Yeah.
like at the top. And you'll be like, what? And then you'll start texting around with all your friends. And then the HR.
At that point, I'll just stop working for the day. I'm just gonna go out and, I don't know, walk the dog or something and go to the gym early.
Invites start to go out.
Take a nap.
They're like 15-minute slots. And so then begins hours of texting everyone you know. Did you get the HR invite? Did you get an HR invite? Are you safe? Is your meeting 15 minutes or is it like 30 minutes to an hour? Because that usually is a longer discussion about a transition into a new role, right? But the 15-minute ones are pretty clear. It's like, hi, thanks a lot, see you later. So I got my 15-minute invite for noon today. Obviously broke out crying. Was kind of planning on leaving anyway. I think we all were. The writing was all on the wall. But, you know, bills.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
I would love
Kids.
to sit around and do nothing. Focus on self-care. You know, all that kind of shit. But instead, it will
Fucking
be
pieces of
a
shit.
scramble to find the next source of a paycheck, and that sucks.
I know, I understand why companies don't do that. Like, before your contract ends, or they're planning, like, to lay you off at this date, at least tell me. A month, 3, 2, like, companies want you to tell them that they will leave, that you will leave for another company. Usually, they want to give them at least a month of leeway to tell them, right? So at least that was how I was in tech, right? And now they are basically telling you on the day of that you're laid off. Give people time, give people leeway. Like, at least let them like, oh, I was planning this trip 2 months from now. Let me cancel this trip now because I'll need to fucking save some money. And then I get laid off basically a month or less from the trip, and now I'm fucked. And now I can't like get my tickets back or whatever trip it is, right? It's freaking evil, man. Even the previous person that mentioned by email. Right now, I work. Right now, I'm a contractor, you want to say? Not really, but I'm a trainer at the gym, so I'm not employed there. I just paid them a little bit of money. They give me clients, and I make more money with the clients. And I also do some freelance, so I'm basically unemployed, but I do too many side hustles, businesses you want to call them or something. Whatever, right? It's making me more than I used to make with my tech job. That fucking, I don't know, I don't want to explain because I want to forget about it, but in December left the company. Fucking horrible. And I totally get their like stress about this. It's depressing.
These are the top 10 companies with mass layoffs in just the last couple weeks. These numbers
Okay.
are absolutely unreal, and I don't know how it's not being talked
Let's
about
see.
more. We're going to start at number 10, which is Dell, which has 12,000
I
employees
heard about
laid
Dell.
off. Number 9, Verizon with 13,000 employees.
Holy shit.
Number 8, Bosch with another 13,000 employees.
I wouldn't be surprised if number 1 is like 50K.
He's number 7, Microsoft
More.
is laying off 15,000 employees. Number 6 is Nestle with 16,000 employees. Number 5, Nissan with 20,000 employees. Number 4 is Intel with 25,000
more.
employees. Number 3, Amazon with 30,000
Damn, one is
employees.
more?
Number 2
Holy
is
shit.
UPS with 78,000 employees. And number 1, laying off over 300,000 employees last year, was the United States government.
Okay, I wasn't expecting the U.S. government. I was expecting only private companies. Okay, U.S. government, I can see why a lot of people should be like unemployed and lose, because a lot of government jobs are basically useless, and a lot of people are just using them to like farm cash for themselves from corruption. That's basically it. How do I know? I live in the fucking Balkans, okay? That's basically how everybody survives here. You're a politician, you steal money. You're in the government, a job in the government, you steal money. You're anyone else, you're basically just dying. That's basically how it is.
Every employee is replaceable, regardless of how much
Yep.
value you provide to your company or how important you think you
I
are.
wish I had this guy's hairline. God damn it, man.
Now more than ever, employees are realizing how ruthless companies truly are. This is with
Yep.
all these recent tech layoffs where hundreds of thousands of employees are being replaced.
They always were. They never gave a fuck about you. It's only in the marketing that they care about you, that this job is something phenomenal that you can't get anywhere else. They don't give a fuck about you. You're just an animal
supposedly
to
for
them.
AI, but who knows? But
just
the
wanna make
reality is
more.
this isn't anything new. Employees across the United States who are top performers are laid off every single day. The
Fucked
reality
up.
is that companies are always looking out for their bottom line. So they're
Yeah.
willing to get rid of just about anybody if it serves their interests. I speak to employees on a daily basis who are fantastic employees with a terrific track record that get laid off. And they're obviously devastated because they've devoted so much time and effort to the company. So the important message to employees is recognize that you are truly just a number and you could be replaced at any time.
Yeah, that
So
helps.
keep this in mind when you're making decisions with respect to your personal lives, etc.
Yeah, we already know that shit. Yeah, it's depressing. It's been like that for like at least 2 decades now. Maybe more, I don't fucking know. I was born in 2001. Do you think I know what was happening before 2001? I barely know stuff. I know there was this one time where you can have one job, have everything you need in life, and be at the same job basically until you like retire. Your 401k, all of this, you'll be all good. You'll be all great, fine, dandy, right? But at the same time, now, even if you have a stable job, man, just keep it. Be on the look. Interview around places. Start your own, like, I fucking hate this, but start your own mini business or side hustle. Or if you're a very experienced person in whatever job role, try and sell yourself or something. Like, goddamn, these people. It's so sad, but these days, there's gonna be more and more people just trying to sell themselves online with any kind of contract or freelance work or starting a small business, because it's just unrealistic, man. This is just fucked up. And you're telling me, and this is unrelated, but you're telling me that I should have kids when this is happening? Oh, but it's gonna get better eventually. There has to be a factory reset. So the factory reset is gonna happen before I have kids. All of this has been happening even before I was born. Okay? I remember being born and every year, everybody just complaining how more and more expensive shit is. And now there's even less jobs. So that's fucking fun, isn't it? Great.
So yesterday I was laid off again. I made this exact video 3 months ago, and I got this new job within a month. I started the week of New Year's, and you can look at this playlist and see I had gut feelings and hesitations the whole time. It was a startup company, and I was afraid
Yeah.
to work for a startup company again because
Yeah.
this is what happened.
When you're getting in startup companies, I'm only speaking as a tech guy because I worked as a software engineer for a little bit. You could make a lot of fucking money in the beginning if it's a startup, but you're taking a risk. You gotta know this shit, okay?
They made some bad decisions that had nothing to do with me or my role, and therefore they immediately had to start pinching where they could, and they pinched the marketing budget, which meant me.
Just dumb people who don't know how to start a business. I'm not saying that I know how to start a business, that I'm smart. I'm just saying they were as well.
Disney is planning to lay off as many as 1,000 employees in the coming weeks. That's according to a source close to the situation. Many of these job eliminations...
You know what's crazy? Now 1,000 employees doesn't even sound that crazy and insane compared to what we saw a few minutes ago.
...will be in marketing after the company consolidated its marketing across entertainment, experiences, and sports under a new...
When do you think she's going to get fired from CNBC?
CMO Asad Ayaz for the first time.
I gotta
that
stop.
happened back in January. My understanding is that these layoffs have been in the works since then. The company is also in the process of combining Disney Plus and Hulu, both the apps and the teams. And this move around the layoffs, first reported by the Wall Street Journal, comes less than a month after Josh D'Amaro took the helm of Disney as CEO, and as the company has meaningfully underperformed the S&P over the past year. Now, Disney is facing some key challenges, including maintaining growth of the parks and experiences division amid consumer uncertainty. There's the challenge of revitalizing key franchises in the film division, which is reckoning with a weaker box office as well as declining profitability.
So there's this interesting thing that there's a ceiling, right? There's a ceiling how many active people can be on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. There's a ceiling on how many people you can get to subscribe to Netflix or Disney Plus or Hulu, or how many people can come to Disney World or Disneyland in a span of weeks or months or so on, right? And you want the company to fucking grow more and more. But these huge ass corporations that have taken over the world in their own industries, they all cap, they all peak, right? And then inflation happens, and then COVID happens, and then wars happen, and the shit gets more expensive. Less people can come, and they've already capped the ceiling on how many people they can, have active on their platforms or come in their, full capacity park, you know what I mean? Like Disneyland or Disney World, right? Where do you go from there? Like, you can't just infinitely go up. Nothing can infinitely go up. I'm sorry. It just can't. I wish I could have just actually no, never mind. I was gonna say a dark fucked up sexual joke. But looks like we're there. We are. And maybe even if inflation wasn't happening, shit like this would be happening. And what will these companies do? Because, shareholders and people investing in these companies want the company to grow. They would just up the subscriptions and shit. And, of course, lay off people so they can be more profitable. It's a full circle. There's probably an economist or a businessman maybe watching this, knows way better how to explain all of this than I can. So put in the comments, of course.
I've not been able to find a full-time job in over 2.5 years, and
No
I
way.
got another rejection last week after...
How do these people survive? There's no way she couldn't get a full-time job in 2.5 years. Maybe she's only looking for specific jobs, which I get. I respect. You've been educated. You have a few years or more of experience in a certain field. You want to be in that field. You don't want to get a McDonald's job. But 2.5 years of no full-time job?
Great job interview, and
Damn.
I just have no more motivation anymore.
Seems impossible.
This week just feels like such a slap in the face, and it's so difficult to regroup
Totally get it.
yourself and go back to starting at square one after having your hopes so high and thinking you're finally going to get that job.
New research shows when it comes to layoffs, employers are firing the youngest members of their staff first. The study shows 1 in 6 bosses.
And then they're mad when young people don't want to have kids and there's a population collapse. Fuck you guys.
Are hesitating to hire
I'm
recent
getting way too
college
pissed.
graduates, and more than half of them fired a recent college graduate this year, and it gets worse. Many bosses say they plan to avoid hiring recent grads altogether next year. The reasons span from performance issues to a lack of motivation.
What's gonna happen when all the senior engineers die or just retire? There's gonna be less senior engineers. There's gonna be way more juniors. You guys want that?
As to why those hires aren't working out.
It's a combination of things that they grew up in a remote environment, remote learning,
So you're trying to say that you're gonna invent new technology, new shit that newer, younger generations will get used to, but you don't want to get with the trends and how people can work and want to work based on their environment and shit. And that environment and shit was created by these corporations. So a company is crying that their youngest workers can't focus. Meanwhile, that same company is trying to create an algorithm that wants more and more people to just have the best fucking feed just for them. So they can never get off of it. So they can be brainless. You guys are destroying humanity. I mean, humanity is destroying humanity, and you're destroying your own companies. Greed can only take you so far. Sorry, not sorry.
Internships too. Many of them have never actually worked in a real world setting.
And some college students agree with that. They argue that the
and now there's less jobs, and they can even, and it's even harder for them now to work in a real world setting.
They failed to consider why they're struggling in the workplace. Many saying the biggest reasons, the social barriers and lost time.
What the fuck is that? You're telling me this is great and amazing and loving and this is gonna make my life amazing? Yeah, if it paid enough. But it's still gonna be fucking horrible and depressing. And that's why now I work from home as a freelancer, and part-time I also train people in the gym.
Okay, so I saw a job opening today because I still get emails from LinkedIn. I'm signed up somehow, and I get emails to me about people hiring, jobs that are open. And I always keep my eyes open if a phenomenal opportunity comes around, because of course I'm going to take it if it's like amazing and if it checks off all my boxes, or like majority of my
But everybody wants to have that job. I would get this job for $80K if it was offered to you, right? And then 24/7, just interview, just research, just trying to find a better job if I can. Trust me, don't put yourself in like a zero-sum situation.
Boxes. Today there was one. It was on site, so it was not listed as hybrid. So 5 days, guys. The max it was paying was $80,000. What I personally I immediately, that
less.
is not worth it. Tax that. That you're not taking home $80,000. Okay?
Yeah, you're not.
So let's say for 60.
And you're driving there or back, so you're probably not there for 8 hours. You're probably for like 9 hours.
8,000. It is not worth my time, my life, everything about me to be in an office 9 to 5, Monday to Friday for $68,000.
I mean, listen, I totally get it. Hey, if the whole world, if all of Europe, if all of US and Canada, all of people there just started doing this and protesting, I mean, everybody would struggle financially, obviously, but companies would. The government would as well, right? Because the government needs taxes. So, maybe something would happen. Maybe the government would put a minimal salary requirement that's going to be probably very high, and companies will have to do it. But that shit's never going to happen, because that's not what's our reality. We live in the human planet Earth world, whatever you want to call it, right? We don't live in whatever movie you can think of. Okay, that's never going to happen. There's always going to be very desperate people, and I don't blame them for it. I would take this job for $80K, and I would interview in other jobs. Maybe she's got a lot saved up, or she makes a little bit less with less work with some freelance. Anyway, tell me what you're gonna stick in the comments. Tell me about your experience. My experience has been horrible, and now this is what I do. I do 2 jobs, and I'm unemployed basically. But it's one freelance from home, editing, and one where I train clients in the gym. But I've got no obligations to any of the. I can just stop and do nothing any day I want. I organize my time. A lot of the times I'm busier, but I make more money. And I can sleep as long as I want. And I, create my own schedule. So anyway, that's about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments, and have a nice day.